Alrighty, let's get started. Good afternoon and welcome again, everyone. I know there are a few people still trickling in, but we're going to get started. So for those of us who could join us in person and online, thank you so much for participating in Build this year. And for those of you who are watching this recording afterwards, thank you for your interest in this topic. I hope you all saw some awesome product innovations and demos during your participation at Build. Did you? Yeah, great. Awesome. So in today's session, we want to talk through some of the product innovations and some of the features that we are introducing, specifically dedicated to this community, our developer community. We want to talk about our motivations and reasons behind some of these innovations. Then we'll do an in-depth, detailed walkthrough of all the features and capabilities and how they bring to life in everyday scenarios that you, our developer community, uses every day. Then towards the end, we are going to get a customer on stage with us so that we can talk to them and learn about their experience of switching to Teams. So with that, let's just dive in. All right, so to set some context, there are two forces we see at the core that are shifting the ways we work, and we all know it. Like first, we all work in a remote hybrid environment more and more. And second, the AI reinvention powered by generative AI that's leading the change at a pace like never before, right? And these two shifts in the way we work are affecting product builders like us and you in ways that we've never seen before. So we wanted to understand a bit more about how product builders like us are getting affected via these two shifts in technology. And what we learned from talking to several hundreds of product builders like yourself is that because of the change of or the pace of innovation that generative AI is bringing in, and all of us more and more working in the hybrid environment, it's becoming increasingly harder to stay on top of things, to stay in sync across globally distributed teams. Can I get a quick show of hands on how many people feel that the number of meetings have just exploded in the last 2 years or so? Yeah, very many. I have 2 hands up here, right? Exactly, right? And all of this adds up to the way we work. Like it creates more anxiety, and we wanted to help solve these for our product builder community. Next, building code, testing it, and debugging, they are at the core of product development, right? And increasingly, it's harder when you get stuck to find the right person to help you, the right subject matter expert to help you and get unblocked, right? So we want to solve for that as well. And then last but not the least, of course, monitoring, accurate monitoring, alerting, and then resolving incidents and issues in a timely fashion is critical for greater customer satisfaction. So we're going to talk through all of these different features and capabilities that they're going to help you across all phases of product development in this session. When we think about this journey to make teams work better for our developer community, we had a 4-pronged strategy or 4 pillars of investments, if you will. A, we want to make teams simpler so that the user experience is easier to understand for you to follow and stay on top of what matters to you the most. B, we want to make teams more flexible so that it can work with the tools and utilities that you use in your everyday software development lifecycle. Then, of course, Teams is infused with AI and intelligence across the board. So it's not only acting as your personal assistant, but it also helps you collaborate more efficiently in a group setup. And then last but not the least, the robustness, reliability, and performance of Teams is way, way better with the new Teams than it was for Teams 1.0. We're going to touch upon that in a bit as well. All right. When we say we want to make Teams simpler, we essentially, as product builders, we play an editorial role. We want to make sure that you can stay on top of your notifications. You can very easily stay in sync and be aware of the conversations and topics that matter to you the most. We have simplified search in Teams so that you can find your most important decisions and conversations faster. And then with meetings, you can not only stay in sync with your remote teams if they had a meeting in a different time, but you can also get all the notes provided to you when it's in your time zone. We have about 145,000 lines of business apps now in Teams, and then 2,000 more ISV apps that are integrated. And 50 plus of them are very specific developer tools that are integrated. You'll see the likes of PagerDuty and Jira and ADO and GitHub and et cetera to help you customize the way you do your software development lifecycle. And then, of course, be it meetings, chats, channels, as well as calls, Teams helps you by quickly catching up on your yesterday's or last evening's conversation with your geographically distributed team. And it can also help you run your meetings efficiently. And in case you miss some meetings, and I know I do a lot of, miss quite a few meetings when there is overlap, then it helps me catch up on those meetings very effectively. And of course, last but not the least, as I was alluding to earlier, Teams is built, the new Teams is more robust, reliable, and up to 2x faster than the previous version of Teams. We ran an independent study for the new Teams, and they report that not only it takes 50% less memory, it also takes 70% less disk space, so you can use Teams. And all of this while the pace of innovation and the number of features in Teams has not slowed down. All right, so to summarize, what we are alluding towards is that we want Teams to help improve your personal productivity while make group collaboration much more efficient and seamless for you. So these are the two key pillars that we have invested in to make sure that across all phases of software development lifecycle, you get the value and power of Teams during your DevOps journey. With that, now I'm going to invite over my colleague, Anuj, to walk us through the details of the features and also showcase some of the demos that you experience in your everyday software development life. Anuj?
Thanks, Ajit. First of all, I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to walk you all through some common scenarios that you, as developers, go through on a daily basis. Whether it's your morning stand-up or your daily Scrum call, whether you're stuck on code and need assistance, or you're dealing with an incident or a live site, Teams can help you navigate and resolve challenges within these scenarios efficiently. First, we'll deep dive into each of the features in detail. Then, we'll go over a demo that ties all of these features together to show you that Teams can help you run a successful stand-up, get you unblocked on code, and even assist you in resolving incidents. So first, we have compact mode. Compact mode increases content density and maximizes the screen space, allowing you to see more conversations and chats when you scroll less. I like to use compact mode when I'm juggling with multiple chats during a critical project. It helps me stay focused and productive while having everything in a single view. We've also launched a robust set of keyboard shortcuts. They're specifically designed to make you efficient without you having to lift your hands off the keyboard. We've added over 25 new keyboard shortcuts across Windows, Mac, web, and iPad. My personal favorite shortcut is the unread chat filter shortcut. By using Control plus Alt plus U on Windows, you can filter your chat list to just unread chats and focus on what needs your attention. With Intelligent Recap and Copilot, you can get now the most with meetings. Intelligent Recap automatically provides meeting notes and action items, allowing you to save time when you go through the timeline markers or when you want to see auto-generated topics or chapters. But Copilot goes one level deeper. By leveraging the auto-generated summary from Intelligent Recap, Copilot can give you more specific answers and contextual answers as well. Let me give you an example. So last week, me and my dev design team were having a discussion on a technical topic, and we were discussing a couple of solutions to a problem. Right after the meeting, I asked Copilot to give me a summary of all the solutions, as well as asked it to generate a pros and cons table for all the solutions as well. And that really worked well for me to understand what transpired in the meeting. Next up, we have Copilot in chats and channels. So as you know, chats and channels are dedicated spaces for work groups to share information, brainstorm, and collaborate together. So the next time you are going through a really lengthy post in a channel, or you have a chat thread with multiple missed messages, just ask Copilot to summarize it for you. So I work in an internationally distributed team with a lot of my colleagues in Asia and in Europe. And every morning when I wake up, I have a lot of missed chats in my chat list. All I do is ask Copilot to summarize it for me, and I'm caught up in seconds. With apps in Teams meetings, coordinating tasks is seamless. Apps can be added to Teams meetings at the time of scheduling a meeting or while you're in the meeting itself. All the participants in the meeting have access to the app and can use all the contents of the app. With Jira in Teams meetings, you can add a Jira dashboard directly to the meeting itself. You can see all the tickets within the dashboard within the side panel of the meeting. You can click on a ticket and share it to stage, make changes with your teams, update them in real time, and you don't have to bother about all the tickets in the browser tabs that you did before. With adaptive card-based loop components, you can insert live and actionable content from third-party apps. These apps include Jira, Trello, Confluence, Priority Matrix, Mural, and many more. You can collaborate with others, you can update content, insert content within these adaptive card-based loop components right within chats and channels. These will also be portable to Outlook and the Loop app later this year, streamlining your workflows across Microsoft 365. Now, before we get into the demo for the morning stand-up, let's talk about some of the big challenges that you may have faced while going through stand-ups yourself. Firstly, preparation for morning stand-ups is crucial. As developers, you want to catch up on progress and address any issues beforehand. Even during the meeting, obtaining the latest progress status from everyone and making sure that nobody is blocked is really important. Along with that, it always goes down to updating tasks and tickets during the stand-up, which is really cumbersome. After the meeting, keeping everyone updated with notes and referring back to the tickets can be really overwhelming. So here's how all the features and capabilities that we just saw come together to make morning stand-ups work like a charm in Teams.
Hello, my name is Sasa Kozik, and I'm a junior developer at Contoso. To kickstart my day at work, I fire up my go-to apps, Microsoft Teams, VS Code, and Jira. Let's dive in. When using Teams, I like to switch to compact mode. The compact display condenses information, making it easier to catch up with what's new at one glance. As you can see, I have a bunch of unread chat messages. To focus on all my missed content, I use the keyboard shortcut for unread chat filter, Ctrl+Alt+U, to catch up on all my unread chats. I see that there has been a lot of chatter in my dev team chat that I have missed out on. First, let me jump to my last read message using the keyboard shortcut, Ctrl+J. Teams shortcuts help me work efficiently without touching my mouse. This conversation seems to be long. I rely on Microsoft Copilot, my AI assistant, to summarize key points within the chat. This allows me to work faster and smarter. Henry, our engineering manager, just kicked off our stand-up. Thanks to Copilot, I'm up to speed as I join the call.
Morning team. Busy day ahead. Let's check our Jira dashboard added to this meeting and go over everyone's updates for this sprint. There's a new app crash bug that's come in. Let's review the app crash ticket together. It's great that I can share and update the ticket directly within Teams meetings without needing to switch to the Jira app. I'm assigning this issue to Sasa and also changing the priority to high. Sasa, please reach out to me if you need help.
Sounds good. It's an exciting issue, and I'll look into it in more detail. The stand-up went well. I'm glad that Jira shares back the tickets we discussed in detail during the stand-up. I can also always access the recording, notes, and action items from Copilot.
All right. Next, we'll review features that will help you in situations when you're blocked on code. First, we have the new code sharing experience in Teams. When you're asking help on an issue, or you want to share a solution to a code problem, you can now share syntax highlighted code right inside Teams. Without worrying about formatting or indentation, paste or write code for the proper language syntax highlighting and just share it away in Teams. We've also taken code blocks a step further by adding collaborative capabilities to it. So when you want to collaborate on code and avoid that long back and forth messages, you can now convert code into a loop component. You can either directly add code into the loop component itself or convert a native code block into a loop component. Everyone with access to the loop component can view it, co-edit it, and also share it. I'm excited to announce /commands is going to be available in Teams. And just like keyboard shortcuts, /commands makes you really efficient. It can help you complete tasks without you having to lift your fingers off the keyboard. /commands provides a user-friendly and consistent way to take actions, compose messages, navigate within Teams, and even change some common settings. My personal favorite is /window that helps you open a chat in a new window, as well as /code that helps me insert code into the compose box easily. If you need to discuss and brainstorm with your team, start a quick and informal huddle with Meet Now. Using Meet Now, you can start real-time ad hoc calls with your team, which provides a really good alternative to formal and scheduled meetings. This ringless call makes sure that people who are available are able to respond back, whereas it doesn't disturb those that may be busy or offline. Regardless of your whereabouts, you can start a call as spontaneously as reaching out to your colleague on their desk. The chat is always part of your group, so you never lose any information, and it's always in context. We've also launched the GitHub Copilot plugin, which is going to be soon available. With the GitHub plugin, you can ask Copilot about your PRs, issues, commits, and more right within Teams itself. You can also ask Copilot to make changes on your behalf. So you can ask it to update a ticket, assign a ticket to somebody else, or even leave comments right within Teams. So you don't really, again, have to hunt down the right browser tab or the right GitHub ticket. So before we jump into the demo for Blocked on Code, I just want to share some of the challenges that you may have faced yourself while seeking assistance on a code issue. First, it can be really tough to find the right person to assist you, especially in a hybrid setup. And even when you've found the right person, there can be a long exchange of back and forth messages just to explain the context of the problem. But don't worry, we're going to show you how all the features that we just saw will come together to help you get past these roadblocks and get unblocked on code.
Hello, my name is Sasa Kozik, and I'm a junior developer at Contoso. Following our morning stand-up, I've crafted a task list today. I want to start by addressing high-impact issues for Project Chat Connect. I'll start by checking Copilot in Teams to gather all the open issues in my GitHub repository for Project Chat Connect. There are 3 open issues. I'll address issue number 23, the app crash problem, first. I'll request Copilot to assign this issue to me and also leave a comment to notify everyone that I'm tackling it this sprint. Copilot ensures changes are confirmed with me before updating the ticket. Once confirmed, Copilot sends back a rich card of the updated ticket. Let me have a closer look at the issue in GitHub. I'm unable to figure out the root cause of the app crash. Let me reach out to Lei, a senior developer on our team who may be able to help. I'll also use a code block to share the code lines that seem to be causing this issue.
Hey, I'm Lei Liao, a senior developer on the team. I see that Sasa reached out to me to get help on an issue she is working on. This looks complex. Let me open this chat in a new window using a / command to focus on it. It looks like Sasa is making progress. The code she shared is helpful to get context, but I think she is missing a few lines of code. Using the copy button on the top right, I can copy the code with a single click. Now I can add my suggested lines in the code block that may help resolve the issue. Let me also convert this code block into a loop component so that we can both co-edit together, see real-time updates and resolve the issue. It seems my suggestion helped, however the app crash issue is still happening in some cases. I know that a few folks worked on a similar app crash issue last sprint. Let me reach out to our broader dev team to see if anyone is up for a quick huddle to resolve this. I initiated an instant meeting to notify team members about an ongoing discussion without disturbing those that are offline or busy. It was great that Henry was able to hop on the call and help out. Sasa now has everything to fix the issue. Having the meeting recorded is helpful for referring back later.
All right. Next, let's review features that will help you in resolving an incident or an outage. I know code blocks can be hard when you have to share long and lengthy code or when you want to reference a file. Permalinks are really useful in those cases. Now, when you paste a permalink inside Teams, Teams will unfurl it into rich code cards, providing you context right there. We've done this integration with Azure repos. So the moment you copy a few lines of code, generate a permalink and paste it inside Teams, it will generate a rich code card right there. The receiver of the code card has the option to either view it in the source app or can even open it inside VS Code to edit it. I know a lot of you are excited about this one. You can now bring more creativity and expression into your conversations with custom emojis and reactions. Upload your own custom emoji to personalize the conversation or reflect the team's culture. You can use custom emojis to efficiently share a status or share a lighthearted emoji to take off the edge of a stressful conversation. My team loves to use the octopus emoji to let everybody know that everything is A-OK. I also want to just point out that custom emojis are only visible within your tenant, and IT admins have all the rights to take out a specific custom emoji or to turn off the capability for everyone. The Copilot Compose box can help you really express yourself better. It acts as a writing assistant. It can help you draft messages, adjust the tone, or even make things really concise. For a non-native English speaker like me, this is a game-changer capability. I can use Compose Copilot to make a feature release announcement, share industry insights, or even share critical feedback with the team. I can do that in minutes, and I can share it really crisply. Loop, as some of you may already be knowing, is powered by the Fluid framework. It provides real-time collaboration capabilities, enabling teams to brainstorm, collaborate together on ideas, and quickly resolve issues. Loop workspaces can help you and your dev team to have all your collateral in one place. My dev team uses Loop Workspace as a wiki to have all our dev docs in one place, all our incidents and mitigation steps in the past in one place, so that they can always be referred back to. We can always co-author together in Loop Workspaces. So before we move on to how all of these features tie up together and help you resolve incidents, I just want to bring out some of the challenges that you and your team may have had when facing incidents. Firstly, timely notifications are really crucial to ensure that the right set of developers are alerted when an incident happens. Next, having context on the issue and making sure that the right subject matter experts are involved to find the root cause and then finally mitigate the incident. After the issue is fixed, it's also important to communicate to your customer who has been impacted by the incident that the issue has been resolved. And it's also important to document the issue so that in the future, incidents can be avoided. So let's see all the capabilities and features that we just saw, how they come together to ensure that incidents can be resolved more seamlessly.
Hello, my name is Sasa Kozik. I'm a junior at Contoso, and I'm also the DRI this week. At Contoso, we use Datadog helps us monitor alerts, gain real-time insights, analyze logs, and manage incidents. Datadog has triggered a high API failure alert for Chat Connect, which impacts thousands of Contoso customers. It's convenient that I can review all the alert details right in Teams. After thoroughly reviewing all the details in the alert, I can create an incident from the alert using Datadog in Teams. Datadog posts a new card confirming that the incident is created and also creates a new channel for the incident. This gives us a dedicated space to collaborate and mitigate the incident together. I investigated the issue and found that the problematic code is affected by another file. I shared the permalink to the relevant code lines from Azure repos in the incident channel for better context. It's helpful that Teams unfurls the code in a rich card with all the details. I also mentioned Nathan and Henry, who have worked on this code and can help resolve the issue.
Hello, my name is Nathan Rigby. I'm a software engineer at Contoso. I see that Sasa has tagged me on a recent incident, and Henry and Lay have suggested possible fixes. Let me start an instant meeting in this channel with those available to discuss mitigation steps before beginning the fix. It's great that Henry and Sasa were able to hop on a call with me. I now have clarity on the code fixes I need to make. My fixes are in, and the issue is now resolved. Our dev team loves to be expressive with emojis. Let me use a cool custom emoji to let Sasa know that the incident is now resolved. Datadog also posts back in our incident management channel to confirm the resolution. I will also update our shared channel with customers to let them know that the incident is now resolved. I rely on Copilot to draft thoughtful and detailed messages with ease that saves me time. I also like that Copilot gives the ability to adjust the tone, explore different composition options, make my own changes, and review the final draft before sending it out. Lastly, I will update our dev wiki. Our team uses Microsoft Loop Workspace as a centralized wiki for notes, code, markdown, and more. I've added detailed notes on the incident, code changes, and mitigation steps.
Apart from these features and enhancements, I also want to highlight some API enhancements that we've made to ensure that you can migrate from other collaboration to Teams seamlessly. In this example, you'll see that content and messages are migrated to Teams as if they were always on Teams. Sender's profile, images, GIFs, links, files are all preserved after migration. What's also interesting is that I can always search for all the content because it's all indexed within Teams. And I'm happy to say that these migration APIs are now publicly available. I hope this provided you with a glimpse of all the features and capabilities coming to Teams. And with this, I want to invite back on stage Ajit, along with Nadya, who is a senior product owner at T-Mobile, to have a great insightful session, insightful Q&A session.
Thank you, Anuj. And welcome, Nadya. Why don't you take a seat? So for this next section, we wanted to switch things up. And we know that a lot of you are already on M365 and are already using Teams. But we also know that a lot of you are considering Teams with all of the Copilot and AI innovation that you saw throughout this week, right? So we said to ourselves, like, what better way to help you imagine what such a transition, what such a journey might look like, than to bring up on stage a customer of us, Nadya from Tree Mobile, who is currently undergoing such a transition, right?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Nadya Motlani. I'm a senior product owner at T-Mobile, hence the magenta pants I'm representing. I've been there for about 3 years, and yeah, for the last year, we've been working on the migration to Teams from Slack.
Awesome. So before we dive deeper into your experience, Nadya, could you share with us and the audience what were some of the motivations for T-Mobile's decision to transition over to Teams?
Yeah, so I think the first one was security. For the last couple of years, security has been a huge driving factor in the projects that we are doing at T-Mobile. And so we have really had an emphasis on providing a platform and an ecosystem that cyber is already familiar with. We already had our Microsoft Office 365 products in-house. And so we just wanted to take this opportunity to really consolidate that and give policies where we could have one place for data loss prevention. We didn't have to buy a third party for that. We could control the mobile devices better within the Microsoft platform. And so security-wise, it just brought us those opportunities. The cost, cost is always a factor in any company that you go to. We had 2 different platforms doing messaging, so it just made sense to use the one platform that we already had with Microsoft. And then last one is just consolidation and reducing technical debt. Again, for the last couple of years at T-Mobile, we had multiple apps that were doing the same thing across our portfolio. And being able to reduce that and reduce the technical debt associated with that was really another driving factor.
That's great to hear. So we all know that any change can be hard, and especially at the scale of T-Mobile with hundreds of thousands of users. I'm sure you had concerns as you began your transition journey. So can you tell us a little bit more about the concerns that your team had, and more importantly, how did your team prepare to address them?
Yeah, like you said, change is definitely hard at T-Mobile. It's very hard. It was a huge shift because people love Slack. Like, across the board, our teams loved Slack. It was heavily used for years. It had tons of knowledge management in there. And so being able to have people not only have to switch over to a different tool, but learning that tool in such a short period of time was daunting. The concerns that came up was just education-wise, like, we don't know this tool, we don't know what it does, we don't know how it operates. There's concerns over custom emojis. Like, T-Mobile branded emojis were huge. Like, people love them. We didn't have them in Teams, so
it's coming soon.
Yeah, excited to hear that. We'll be jumping on that one. So that was kind of the minor concerns. There was also concerns with our developer community. So we had a lot of citizen developers. We have a lot of developers that used workflows. We had tens of thousands of workflows within Slack. Slack did it really, really well. Like, any person was able to come in and within hours build a workflow that was streamlining their processes within their teams. And so they were concerned about the level of effort and the learning curve of Power Apps, which was understandable. It's a big learning curve. So we were able to do a couple things with workflows and custom app and bot integrations. So for those developers and citizen developers, we provided workflow workshops. And so in those workflow workshops, the owners could come in, they could talk about their use cases, they could get hands-on experience about how to rebuild those in Teams. And so that was really, I think, helpful for them. And we did those twice a week for a year. And then we brought in a vendor to help us rebuild apps. So those app owners who felt that they needed help with a Power Platform products and Visual Studio, they would come with our vendor, and then the vendor would rebuild the apps for them. And then as far as the education went in general, we offered training sessions on Teams itself. And so that education really helped users understand, this is Teams, this is how we use it, this is how we transition to Slack. I think the other, and the last bit I would just want to share is like data migration. We got so much feedback on the fact that Slack was a knowledge management tool for us. There was so much history there, and it was so important for them to keep that history. And so I am so happy for anyone who is transitioning in the future with the APIs discussed.
That we just saw.
I'm very sad for us. Oh, I'm sorry, because we really needed it. So I'm happy to hear that you guys have
that's great to hear. And to summarize on how you and your team address those concerns and plan for mitigating them, it's like communicate if needed, over-communicate, educate and help, collaborate so that you can set them up for success. That's the recipe for your success at T-Mobile with this transition.
Yeah, that's a way better way to summarize it, yes.
Great. So you talked about some of the apps and integrations that developers at T-Mobile use. What were some of the key apps and integrations that are critical for success of developers and product teams at T-Mobile?
Yeah, this was actually a huge win for us. So like the developers, when they were using Slack, they had to do a lot of custom integrations, but with Teams, it was already there. So Jira was a big one. Being able to have Jira within the app directory already, being able to use that, getting notifications, all of that built in was huge for them. Confluence, Visual Studio was in there, XMatters, PagerDuty, like those were probably the top ones.
Well, that's great to hear. And we have over 50 such developer tools available in Team Store. And of course, you can also customize your own lines of business apps as need be, because we have SDKs for them. So switching gears a little bit, I wanted to understand how far along are you in your journey towards transitioning to Teams? For those that have transitioned over, how's the feedback so far? And specifically, what are you most excited about in terms of features and capabilities that Teams has to offer?
Okay, so we are decomming Slack on June 1st, which is next week. So I am so excited for that. It's been a long journey, and we've learned a lot from it, but we're excited about Teams and what it has to offer. The feedback that we have gotten so far is that I think the first feedback is from our different lines of businesses, which is like it's gone smoother than anticipated, which for me is huge, right? Because like we overcompensated.
Especially at the scale of T-Mobile, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that was a huge feedback. I think the other feedback was Copilot. The integration with Copilot and Teams has been such a benefit to me particularly, but I know to all of our business who is using it. I think meeting recaps are huge. Being able to do this, I think it's called Speaking Coach, or
Speaker Coach.
Yeah, just to have something there to check you in and check your tone in, I think is a good thing. And so that was a huge feedback. I think that overall, there was a lot of concern over, like, again, being a new tool, but Teams actually has seamless integrations between all of the 365 products. And so being able to be in Teams and then open up Excel or open up Word, and it looks the same, I think that helped users a lot feel more comfortable.
Oh yeah, I love it when I can open OneNote inside of Teams and update it super quick.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, last, if somebody was considering a similar journey that you're just going through and are soon going to be over with, what advice would you give them so that they are successful and they move over to Teams as well?
Yeah. I could probably do a whole session on that,
Yeah,
but I'll try
sure.
to keep it short. The first advice I have is pull the Band-Aid. I was terrified of it. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, and it was hard. But I think, in all seriousness, it was executive sponsorship for us that was super important. Like, change instilled a lot of fear at T-Mobile, and I think that when we were able to get executives to say that, hey, we're doing this, we're all in the same boat together, let's just take this journey, I think that was really important for us. And so what that allowed us to do is be able to do a collaboration with all of our lines of businesses and really get them on board on how they wanted to use Teams. Because at the end of the day, every team uses it differently.
Yeah.
And so being able to communicate with them and be able to get their help in making sure their teams migrate was huge. I think being able to reach out to the developer community and understand what their needs were across the board for their apps and bots, their custom integrations, their workflows, that was huge. And it was a great opportunity workflow-wise. We had tens of thousands of workflows, and we were able to consolidate them. And I think that was really important to learn as well for us, because it was kind of like spring cleaning, and we were able to do that with Teams.
That's awesome to hear. So that does bring us to an end. This is a wrap. So thank you, Nadya, for joining us today
Thanks for
and
having me.
sharing your insights with everybody.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you all who could join us in person and online. Anuj and I plan to be here for a few minutes in case you have any questions, you want to make connections, and ask some additional details about the features and capabilities we showed. I hope you all had a great build and wish you the very best for the week ahead. Thank you.